Hello, this is a quick video explaining how to use tab C of your chapter specific sheet. So this is due November 20th after you have your quiz scores, and by this time you should have gotten the responses from all your volunteers regarding their availability and whatnot. Anyways, getting straight into this. This is for VC teachers only. In other words, if from tab B, which as a reminder is for every single volunteer that wants to teach, you would basically get rid of volunteers who put only writing as their position preference. So even if you have someone who put VC or writing, you'd still put them on tab C in case they get assigned VC. So the way it works here is once you get your chapter specific sheet, please write out your chapter. So for example, SAS -1, enter, and then just drag this down so we have your code. It just makes it a lot easier for us. If you don't know your chapter specific code, you can just go to any of the tabs and they should be here in parentheses, so like UCB or TW. Anyways, the key idea here is it's one row per sort of position request. So I know tab B was one row per sort of person. That's not happening here. Instead, we're doing one row per sort of teaching team and what they are teaching. So for example, if Kimberly Borman wants to teach phonics with Tim, but also wants to teach um, video, then she would appear 2 times. In addition, if she wants to teach phonics by herself, separate from Tim and separate from this, which is obvious because position 3 is not equal to position 1, then she would actually appear 3 times on this sheet. And trick question, if she wants to also do writing on top of that, she would not appear on tab C because tab C is for VC only. Anyways, hopefully that made sense about the one row per teaching team slash position. So once you have all their details down, quick note on tab F, you can still put sort of ors here. So if they're deciding between VC phonics or VC video, then you can just sort of put that there and we'll assign them based on their evaluation and their availabilities. But we shouldn't see sort of like ands here because 1 and 3 and 4 would actually just be 1 and 3 and 4 because of the row rule that we just talked about. Anyways, after you put these details down, please put in column H the number of minutes they're willing to teach per week. So W means you're just teaching 2 35-minute sessions a week. That's the bare minimum we have. Option X and Y, I think this might explain it better. So option X is 2 70-minute sessions, and each 70-minute session is actually a back-to-back 35-minute session. So each day of the week, you'd be teaching sort of a back-to-back 35-minute session totaling 70 minutes, and you do that twice a week. Option Y is basically option X, but without the back-to-back, so it can happen anytime. So instead of it being like this, there could actually be a gap, or you could be teaching in a totally different day and a totally different time, or it could be like this. Basically, option Y is a bit more of a scattered version of option X. Option Z, that's for VC video only. And that leads us into column I. So number 1, if you are requesting multiple positions, so for example, Kimberly here might have wanted to do both VC phonics as well as VC video, then please clearly write out your preferences as sort of a backup to the operations team. And also, if you do want to have multiple preferences, you're fine with phonics or video or um, speaking skills, then you need to kind of tell us what time preference you have for each position requested. So, for example, if I'm Alexander and I put 70 minutes for my requested minutes willing to teach per week. However, I can actually say if I get assigned position 3, I would like option Z instead. Um, or you can actually say W for position 3 too, so we know that even though you can actually teach less, you want to teach more. Um, so hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, moving on, each teaching row, I'm gonna call it each teaching row, should now fill out their availability. If it's a pair, make sure it's the combined availability of the two people. And these times are in Cambodia time. So don't write it on here, but just make a mental note about the time conversions. If you're in America, take note of daylight saving times too, when members fill out their availability. The availability is Monday to Thursday only, unless you want to teach position 3 to 4. Then you can actually teach on Fridays too. Um, Other than that, column O is for a position 3 or 4 only because this is lunchtime, and also column U, so the 6:20 to 6:55 time slot is reserved, not reserved, but prioritized for SAS and Shikao because they're in a China time zone, and that means they physically cannot attend these orange sessions because they're still at school. So yeah, just know that if you aren't SAS or Shikao, but you put this in, we'll be prioritizing those two chapters first. That should be it. If you have any questions, please let the operations team know. Again, due November 20th. Thanks.